Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now, fuck him. Fuck that. Because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. That goes for you and any other you motherfucking farmers wanna try some shit. You fuck around with me, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Haters gonna hate. And ain'ters gonna hate.
What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Live on a Tuesday. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. Make sure you guys tune in on Facebook. Also, click that like button on the Facebook page. Also, check us out on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. And you can also check us out on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm Trey Frazier. That's Maestro Styles over there.
Yes, sir.
What's good, fam? What up, man? How we feeling?
Coolin', man. Work beat my ass today, so, but I'm here. I'm here now.
I got a feeling this is going to be a lengthy podcast tonight. There's going to be some things to talk about for certain. Can't wait to get into it. What you want to start out with? I mean, I got Julio Jones.
It's on you, brother. Hey, man. It's on you, bro. I'm ready to react.
I got Julio Jones on deck right here. Traded to the Titans for a second rounder and future draft pick, something like that.
Fifth round. I thought it was a second and a fifth.
Second and a fifth? Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Bet. So, reaction time. Julio Jones with the Titans next to A.J. Brown.
Obviously the Titans were the winners of the situation. I think that's obvious to say.
Yeah.
Look, man, social media works. Social media, social media courting works, man. Apparently it works. I remember Julio Jones somewhere saying that he wanted to go to somebody who could throw the deep ball, and I guess I've seen him do it before, but I don't think Tannehill when I think of somebody throwing the deep ball, but obviously the offense is stacked, and I guess the major question is, can they beat the Chiefs with this roster?
Yeah, well, can they beat the Ravens too? Because they lost to the Ravens in the playoffs. But I tell you what, man.
They didn't lose to the Ravens with Julio Jones. I mean, they didn't lose with Julio Jones though.
Well, I tell you what, because offensively, this is a major upgrade. There's no question about it. You're gonna have to not put 8-9 in a box anymore to stop Derrick Henry. Now you got to play man-on-man coverage with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. But when I look at the roster, like in its totality, offense and defense still got some question marks. And, I know they, addressed some of it in the draft. I know they picked up, what's his name?
Bud
Dupree. Right. I know they picked up Bud Dupree, so that's definitely, a game changer right there. I think just the question mark is going to be defensively. I mean, they were the worst defense getting off the field on third down. That's going to have to change. So as much as, we want to give this Julio Jones acquisition its props and, give the Titans all the love when it comes to that, I just got questions about the defense, and we'll just see how that, plays out. I don't expect them to make a trade for anybody else, like I said earlier. But Dupree's on the roster now. They addressed it in the draft. We're just going to have to see what happens. I do think that in terms of the division, they're still the favorites in the AFC South as far as I'm concerned. I don't care that Carson Wentz is finally in Indianapolis. I don't care that Quentin Nelson is, there, and, they got a pretty good coaching staff and roster. The Titans, for me, they're still like the team to beat in the AFC South. I mean, so nothing there really, changes for me there. Now, can they get like a top 2 seed or something? And I guess in this case, it doesn't really matter anymore since the 1 seed is the only one that gets the bye week. But I guess that would be a question. Can they get the number 1 seed in the AFC and just have everything come through them? I think they got enough. I mean, if you're talking offensively, they got enough. We'll see what happens on defense.
Yeah, man. I would love to sit here and pretend like it's a big drawn out conversation, man. But I mean, look, they got Julio Jones and didn't even get rid of any receivers or didn't even lose anybody yet on as far as their roster.
Except for who they replaced though, because Corey Davis was there and he signed as a free agent elsewhere. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
they didn't replace nobody as far as the trade goes.
Right. So, and I mean, obviously, there's no comparing Corey Davis to Julio Jones. So, I mean,
upgrade. Clearly.
Right. So the way I see it, they are. They're just up there, and obviously we're talking about on paper because we haven't seen anybody playing the games or any of that. But Julio Jones does put the Titans up there. If I'm to make a ranking right now, Chiefs 1, and again I'm just talking on paper. I gotta go Titans 2.
Yeah, no, I could see that. And I think if you're talking about the North, that's going to be a dogfight, in and of itself. And quite frankly, I think the AFC East is going to be a dogfight this year. With the upgrades that the Patriots made, the Bills are still the Bills. And, the Dolphins, they won 10 games last year, without a playoff appearance, but they won 10 games. You expect that team to be, hovering around, where they were last year. And not for nothing, I was paying attention to some Vegas odds the other night, and they got like the Broncos as like the 5th team in the AFC with like the 5th best odds to get to the Super Bowl. Now, we know what that is. That's basically pending if they trade for Aaron Rodgers. And if that does happen, then that kind of changes everything that we just talked about, in terms of the Titans, chances of, getting to the Super Bowl and where they rank in the AFC. But that's something that's interesting that I think we need to just keep an eye out on, because if Vegas got them being the Broncos as the 5th best odds to get to the Super Bowl, they know something. They know something's about to be up.
Yeah, but I'm not putting no stock in that. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback, but they don't. Nah.
No, I mean we know they don't stack against the rest of the other teams. Like, I mean, and if that ranking is just based off of them getting Aaron Rodgers. Like, let's just kind of be clear about that.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know why they would assume. I know what people are saying, but I don't know that Aaron Rodgers.
They must know something. They must know something if they got him ranked 5th.
Or they're anticipating something.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know. Yeah, I don't think.
We're saying
the
same thing. We're kind of saying the same thing.
Oh no, you saying they know something means that they know that Aaron Rodgers is going to Denver. I'm saying that Vegas is thinking that he might go to Denver, not that they have any inside information. What I took as what you saying is saying that they got inside information as to whether Aaron Rodgers is going to Denver. I don't believe Vegas got no inside information about Aaron Rodgers going to Denver or not. I guess in the scheme of what you're saying, that would make sense, because what on this team makes you feel like Denver is the 5th best team in the AFC, but
of course. But we know what the deal is there.
I don't know is what I'm saying.
Well, no, I'm saying that they got them ranked with the 5th best odds because They must know something, or like you even said, they're anticipating that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Bronco at some point before the season starts.
But then do those odds
Otherwise,
change if he don't?
if he doesn't go there, then them dudes drop to like the 14th best odds to get to the Super Bowl out of
I
the
mean, you talking
AFC.
about? I mean, you talking? Yeah, but I'm talking about would Vegas change that? Like for
Yeah,
instance,
Vegas will change that. Vegas will change that if they suspect that he's not going there anymore.
yeah, but I don't know why you even. I don't even know why you put that there. I mean, I guess I do know why,
We know
but it's
why.
but
We know
I don't
why.
think it's Aaron. I don't think I think it's less about them having inside information and more about And I'm not a gambling expert, but I feel like they want people to start throwing cash towards Denver for whether Aaron Rodgers goes there or not.
That's possible. That's
Yeah,
possible. I mean, maybe they have inside info, maybe they don't. But for them to put them rank them fifth, it ain't just because they seriously think that Teddy Bridgewater and Jerry Judy and these guys, are going to make the playoffs with just the roster they have right now. It's certainly not that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin Bunton, aka Big Kev 303, in the Facebook
What's
live
happening?
chat. So, does the name Sheena Quick ring a bell to you?
No.
So, I started following her on Twitter. So, she's a Panthers beat writer, and her name was familiar to me, and I couldn't remember for a while where. So, it had came to me that her name had surfaced in that Washington Post article about the Washington football team and all the nastiness and all that stuff
Yep.
that was going on within the organization.
Mm-hmm.
So Sheena Quick used to work for them, and she was one of the ones that came forward about all the sexual harassment and all the stuff that was going on within that organization, right?
Gotcha.
So one day she alluded to something on Twitter that she had some inside sources in talks about Deshaun Watson and the Deshaun Watson case. And this has less to do with the actual case itself, but more so to do with whether teams are still, looking for his services and whatnot. So she alluded that there is a mystery team that's out there, and quite frankly, it's really not a mystery if put the team's name out there anymore. But she basically said that there's a surprise team that is still kind of monitoring the Deshaun Watson situation and is looking to pounce on it whenever that all the situation with the cases kind of you know goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So someone was like, "Yo, you can't just put that out there and just not, give the name of the team and whatnot." And a lot of folks have alluded to the Philadelphia Eagles as being that team that's been monitoring Deshaun Watson and still trying to make a big push for him. And Sheena Quick, she confirmed it that it was Philly as that surprise team that's still monitoring Deshaun Watson and the case and all that stuff. So I think for me, and I've heard the Eagles name kind of resurface when it came to Deshaun Watson for a while now. Like even before, I started following her and before really like the prime of this case got to where it got. But I I guess I could say I'm disappointed in a sense because I think we all want Jalen Hurts to be the guy in Philly, right? Like the owner came out and was like, "We're not drafting a quarterback. Jalen Hurts is our guy. We're gonna move forward with this guy." And to kind of still hear their name as still this, team still monitoring the situation. And I get it, it's Deshaun Watson. I would do the same thing. If Deshaun Watson is available and, he's a top 5 quarterback, then no question I'm pulling the trigger. I gotta do what I gotta do. But I think for me, um, disappointed in the sense that, Jalen Hurts keeps getting how can I put it, overlooked or
Mm-hmm.
just, hey, you are God, but we might got something better.
If I'm disappointed about anything, I am disappointed by the Philadelphia Eagles' lack of pretending that they care about whether Jalen Hurts is their starting quarterback or not. Look, come on, man. It's Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson, if there's an opportunity to get Deshaun Watson on your team, and we talked about it with Tua in Miami when it was conversations about him going to Miami. Is I know young quarterbacks with high ceilings and all those things. Deshaun Watson becomes available and you got the room to make it happen. You make it happen, and this is that. I'm sorry. Deshaun Watson in Philadelphia changes to the trajectory of the Philadelphia Eagles the second he steps on the practice field. You automatically got to start having conversations about can they win the East.
Yep.
All those conversations have to immediately happen when Deshaun Watson comes into your locker room. So, if anything, I don't like that the Philadelphia Eagles treat him. They tell him, "Oh, that you're our guy," but then these conversations leak out into the media. These conversations shouldn't be leaking out into the media if you want to reassure Jalen Hurts that he's the guy. I'm sure at this point Jalen Hurts knows he's the guy until they can get somebody better or until he proves it on the field.
Yeah.
I think if he is any type self-aware of what's going on in his situation, that Deshaun Watson said he want to come to Philly, they're going to try to work it out. He's probably going to end up in Houston. And look, Houston is not a great team to play for organization-wise and all those things, but you go there and ball out. And you know what? Maybe you can change some things down in Houston, but and obviously that's assuming that that's what the trade is. But you kind of got to think that's what the trade is. If Deshaun Watson comes to Philadelphia, you got to think that Jalen Hurts is going. So I mean, look, man, I don't feel no kind of way about them actively pursuing Deshaun Watson, leaving the door open. I mean, hell, if Pittsburgh could leave the door open for Deshaun Watson, we'd be doing it too. No shame. I think you're in a situation in Baltimore where y'all wouldn't have to do it, but I mean, there aren't a lot of teams that are in position to just not act like Deshaun Watson doesn't want to be traded.
Yeah. Right. I mean, the Niners was a part of that conversation for a little bit also up until the draft, and I think at this point they've kind of told you during the draft that this is the direction that they're going to go, with Trey Lance. The Jets, same thing. They were in a conversation, and they got Zach Wilson. So, it in the end, now that I think about it, it does make sense that there is that one team that's out there left that was monitoring that situation. And I said it earlier. He's Deshaun Watson. I'd jump at the opportunity too if I knew
I
that I was going
wouldn't
to get
be
myself a top 5
surprised.
quarterback.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the only team still watching it. I don't think Philadelphia is the only team still watching it. I think Philadelphia is a team that got leaked because you followed Sheena Quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that's the only team that's sitting there thinking. I mean, hell, if I'm Detroit and I know they just got Jared Goff, but man,
if you got
there's a way,
yeah. I
if
mean,
there's a way,
you Jared Goff in that package, no question. But then, what else you gonna throw in the package for him?
I'm just saying, any team that sees themselves that don't have a quarterback better than Deshaun Watson or a quarterback they drafted early, meaning first round, and in an attempt to make them a franchise quarterback. Yeah, man, you do that. You do that. I mean,
sure.
You see what you could do to make it happen.
Sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. That's going to be interesting. As this
Well, with
offseason
all this
continues.
going on, and with what has been speculated amongst a lot of people to be a smear campaign in Deshaun Watson, he probably don't go nowhere this year.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So the league hasn't really suspended him yet. Like they didn't put him
No,
on the exempt list or anything like that yet.
nope, nope.
Yeah.
But my point is,
Hmm.
I mean, well, look, listen here. If emphatically it is a smear campaign, and I don't know it, I don't know that to be true. I'm just what people speculate.
Yeah.
Um, then ideally you would think that it worked because you don't hear anything about you don't hear about Deshaun Watson being traded anymore outside of this small story that I hear nobody reporting about outside
Yeah.
of Sheena Quit.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it would seem as if whatever they did in this smear campaign worked.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious how that's going to play out. Like
If it was a
who's
smear campaign, by the way, if it was a
sure.
smear campaign.
Sure. Who's their backup? Like I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Hey, rest in peace, Jim Fossil. Found that out
What?
earlier this afternoon. Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. Yeah, you rest in peace.
Heart attack yesterday. Age 71. Um,
Wow.
most people know him from coaching the Giants back
Giants,
in the
yeah.
late '90s into the early 2000s. I
Wow.
think a couple of highlights for me. Obviously, one is the Super Bowl, where they got beat by the Ravens, and then the other highlight for me is a couple of weeks prior to that Super Bowl, where it appeared that they surprised everybody and beat those Vikings 41-0 in an NFC title game. I mean, that was,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Vikings for about maybe
Robert
three,
Smith,
4 years.
Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like one of the best offensive teams in NFL history.
Yeah.
And, that Giant squad, shut them out in that title game. So, also, he was in Denver as a coordinator, with the Ravens as a offensive coordinator early on with Billick when Billick was still coaching there. So yeah, rest in peace, Jim Fossil. I didn't realize he was that old, but yeah,
Makes sense.
that sucks. That sucks. Heart attack and all that stuff.
Rest in
Prayers
peace.
out, shout out
Condolences
to
to
the
the
family and
family.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, no question about it. All right, man. Let's get into the NBA, man. We can get into these awards. Just found out a couple of them today. Nikola Jokic is the league MVP by the Associated Press,
Yep.
and Tom
Congrats.
Thibodeau is the Coach of the Year, awarded by the Associated Press. So, thoughts, reactions.
Congrats to Nikola Jokic. Thibodeau winning his bullshit. Stand by it. I ain't get to reply to you because work kicked my ass today, but yeah, I stand by
The
that.
mad rapper, man. Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why
I
you mad,
ain't.
son.
I mean, look. He wasn't the best coach this year. Period. He was a good coach this year. Not taking nothing away from him. I don't. He did what he did, and congrats to him and the Knicks. He wasn't the best coach this year. Period.
I got a question.
And it stands and like we had the conversation, it stands right there. It ain't about how good, how much better, or how much worse he was. He was better. Period.
I got a question. In the past, has coaches of the year, like those like coaches that have won it, and I'm just trying to name some off the top of my head here, but are those coaches like the best? When those coaches that win those awards, are they really the best like coaches in the league? Like those years, like I remember
No.
Mike Budenholzer won it with the Hawks, I think, in 2015, that one year. Um,
Yeah, no, of course not. Like the MVP isn't the best player in the league that
right,
year. Yeah,
right,
so no.
right. So no, so because I'm just kind of going back to what you said. Thibodeau wasn't the best coach, and I agree with that statement. That he wasn't the best coach. Um, but as I've been, saying for a while now, leading up to the end of the regular season, um, there were three candidates. It was him, it was Monty Williams, and it was Quinn Snyder. And after a while, I've just kind of shoved the Quinn Snyder to the side because the Utah Jazz have been good, for a while now. So for me, it was just down to two guys, Tom Thibodeau and Monty Williams. And I gotta say, um, it for me it was difficult. Just putting my Knicks, colors aside, this was it, for me. This was difficult because on one hand, you got Monty Williams, right? Monty Williams, he's got what, second best team in the West, number 2 seed. First time this team has been in the playoffs in what, 10, 11 years. And obviously ended that long playoff drought. Has some of the best players in the league on the roster. Chris Paul came over in the trade. Devin Booker is one of the best, young cats in the league right now. So you got all that to Monty Williams' resume, and you look at Tom Thibodeau, and you say, okay, this guy came into a situation, a team that had been out of the playoffs, a little less than what the Suns were. The Suns had a longer playoff drought, but the Knicks had a playoff drought of themselves. I think it was 7 to 8 years. No expectations for the Knicks. People predicted that they would win 22 games this year, and they ended up doubling that, total, or almost doubling the total to 41. People would say that Tom Thibodeau has done more with less, I would say. No really, superstar, and yeah, Julius Randle, most improved player of the year, much deserved, but certainly didn't have the best players on the roster, but yet came into a situation unknown. People had no expectations, and they're the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, and I get it's the Eastern Conference, but even for that franchise to come from where they came from and to be a top 4 seed in their conference, you can't sneeze at that. And quite frankly, you can't sneeze at neither one of these team situations. So for me, I'm happy that Tom Thibodeau won the award. But if Monty Williams won it, I would have said the same thing. Hey, congratulations. Monty Williams, yeah, best, second best team in the West, 50 something wins this year. Stacked roster, deep roster. I would have reacted the same way had either guy won the award.
So who should have won?
Who should have won? I would give the edge to Thibodeau because he did more with less. And that's just a slight edge.
So did the Hawks. The Hawks in the Eastern Conference. I mean, so did the Hawks. The Hawks did they in the Eastern Conference and did extremely better than they did the year before.
So now you're bringing Nate McMillan into the Coach of the Year conversation.
I mean, yeah. And hell, the way he turned around after Lloyd Pierce left.
Mm-hmm. Much props. Much props.
I mean, here's the thing for me, and this ain't no long drawn on conversation. Does Monty Williams have a star in Devin Booker 100%? Does he have a point guard who brought it all together 100%?
Mm-hmm.
But he coached this team. DeAndre Ayton is an animal right now, and I'd like to think, along with Chris Paul, that Monty Williams has something to do with that. Cameron Payne is an animal. He's coached this team.
Of course.
He's coached this team well. And they're in the Western Conference. So, I hear you.
Tougher conference. I hear you. No question.
I hear you.
No question.
And much like we said 2 weeks ago, or however many weeks ago when we had this conversation, I mean, Yeah, Tom Thibodeau definitely had a great year coaching. He definitely brought the Knicks back to relevance this year. Um, but I don't think he was the best coach this year. I don't think he was
Yeah,
the best coach this year. I
I
just
mean,
don't.
and that's fine, and that's fine because the best coach never wins this award. So
I'm talking about okay. Let me stop saying best coach because you keep going back there. I don't mean best coach like he didn't have the best coaching year this year. I know
sure,
that Monty Williams isn't the best coach in the NBA. He didn't have the
sure.
best coaching year this year. Tom Thibodeau didn't. It was Monty Williams in my book.
Okay. Obviously, like with all the attributes that I laid out, there's obviously something in Monty Williams' resume that you just put highly, above what Tom Thibodeau did, and that's cool. But
No, it's just not highly. It's just over. It's not high. Again, it's not. It's not. It's not about Monty Williams was so much better than Tom Thibodeau. It's just that
hmm
he was better. It's not like I'm saying like he's
hmm
here and he's there. I'm just saying that if you're
right.
asking me who in the
hmm
running was the better coach this year, I'm going. It was Monty Williams for me. It wasn't Tom Thibodeau.
What do you say
And
to those? Oh, go ahead.
and if I'm to add, how I think the Tom Thibodeau thing is going to end, well, I liken it to his run in Minnesota, where
hmm
they he came in hot. They made I think they made a playoffs one
They
year,
made
and
they
then
made
he
the
ended up.
playoffs. They did.
And
They
then
did.
he ended up overworking the players. The players got upset, didn't want to play for him no more, and they went right back into the shitter. So I
hmm
mean, if you
And I would
you know,
and I would say that Minnesota had better players than this year's Knicks did.
So one thing we're certain about is that Tom Thibodeau know how to crack the whip and get them there. But once he loses the players, once players feel like okay, I don't like his approach anymore,
hmm
then they stop playing for him. I mean, the same could be said in how it worked in Chicago for Tom Thibodeau. So it didn't happen necessarily the first year, and they were successful years after more than 1 year, but it's safe to say that he has a habit of rubbing players and even office executives the wrong way.
hmm Yeah, I think everything you said is right there. I don't know that I would take what you said there in
Sure, that
consideration
has
for
nothing to
whether,
do.
yeah, and that's where I was trying to get to because on the flip side, and I don't think this was Monty Williams' fault, but when he coached the Pelicans, when he had Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins and Rajon Rondo and those guys, that didn't turn out so well. Granted, again, I don't believe none of it was Monty Williams' fault. I think that was just more the Pelicans brass than more than anything. But I don't think
That wasn't that. Yeah,
I don't think a coach's tenure. I'm saying I don't think a coach's demise with a team has anything to do with whether they're deserving of the award or not. Um,
Oh no, I
but
wasn't saying that to say that. I'm saying that to
mhm,
say and again I said if I'm adding to the conversation, just adding to the
yeah,
conversation, we gotta I got a healthy prediction about how it's going to end in the Knicks based on how it's ended in Chicago and Minnesota.
hmm well, I would say if it ends like you said it would, um, most people would say it's because of the roster more so than it is Tom Thibodeau. Because at
No, it's
least with
Tom
Minnesota, because at least in Minnesota, there were stars like they were legitimate. Carl Anthony Towns, I think, is a star in the league. I think he's better than anything we have on this Knicks roster right now. Um, I think if there's one thing to point at with the Knicks roster, if we don't make the playoffs next year, I think people are going to point to the roster more than they are going to point to Tom Thibodeau.
unless players come out and say I don't like the way he's doing things, like what happened in Minnesota.
Well, that's possible
That's
too.
my prediction, though. My prediction is
hmm
that my prediction is about Tom Thibodeau. My is not about the players. My prediction is
No,
players are
sure.
going to my players are going to start to not like what's going on, and he's gonna end up losing the locker room.
Yeah, I could see the Knicks if they ever get the superstar, or if one of the guys that we drafted becomes a superstar, and we're like really really good. I could see him not being a coach. I could see a situation where Thibodeau maybe not good enough to maybe get us over the hump, and then maybe we have to get another coach to take us over the top. I could see something like that happening, especially when you got a roster full of guys that they're gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of these guys are superstars, so it's not like these players are gonna demand, put demands on, hey coach, I gotta sit out a couple of games. Hey coach, I gotta go to Vegas for a week or something. Rodman style and come back. Like, ain't none of these players gonna do that. Like, these players are gonna play. If they're gonna play every game, they're gonna play every game. They don't have the star that's just gonna, you know, just sit out just because they want to sit out.
Yeah, like I said, the grand scheme of things for me is Monty Williams should be coach of the year, not Tom Thibodeau. And
No, I
again,
mean,
that's no slight.
that's cool. That's cool.
And and again, no slight. Congratulations to Tom Thibodeau, but I think it's bullshit. And not like he give a fuck about my opinion. He the coach of the year, and I'm sitting here talking to you about it in my dining room. I'm just saying,
Well, I'll disagree with you in this sense. I don't know that it's bullshit. Because I think he's a strong candidate, as the same thing as Monty Williams. I think they're both strong candidates for
oh,
this
it's just the
award
verbiage that be
and what
fucking
that
you
is.
up.
What's that?
It would be my verbiage that be fucking you up, because we still saying the same thing. Whether I think it's wrong or whether I think it's bullshit, I still think Monty Williams should be
for the most part, it's the verbiage for the most part.
Oh, okay. Because I'm still saying the same thing. I'm still saying, if I say it's wrong, I'm still saying it's bullshit. I think it's wrong and it's bullshit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, props to both coaches, though. I mean, I would have been upset if they would have, did the whole, co-coach of the year kind of a thing. I would have been real upset at that if they ever did that. So, hey, I gotta talk about these Dallas Mavericks for a minute, man.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Terry Stotts getting fired?
I want to do that too.
Okay.
But I want to throw some smoke over to the Dallas Mavericks because, and I understand that Luka was hurt in Game 3, part of Game 4, and he came back, and I think he dropped like 40 something in Game 5 or something like that. But we really got to start to have this conversation about Rick Carlisle being the head coach of this team. And I understand that he won it all in 2011 with Dirk and those guys. And I get that having the chip, buys you a lot of time in the league. I get that part. But these niggas haven't won a playoff series since they won the chip. You know what I'm saying? And okay, that's cool. It took some time, y'all, changing the roster up a bit. Dirk was on his last leg and all that stuff. That's cool.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, no doubt about it.
What year did he, not to cut you off, what year did Dirk retire?
My guess was 2 years ago.
Okay.
That's my guess. So, they go into the Luka era, and, the Luka era starts out, really great, right? They had the run last year in the bubble. Many people thought that, they could have took the Clippers out last year in the bubble. They come back this year. Porzingis is a little bit healthier. And, he's been getting all the smoke, lately, and deservedly so. Hardaway Jr., Jalen Brunson, Kleber and some of these guys, they got a couple good shooters on the team, but I'm sorry. You go up 2-0 and you go to Dallas when you're up 2-0 when you have a chance to close these niggas out, and you lose not just those 2 games, but then you go up 3-2 in Game 5, going home to Dallas to close them out, and then you blow the series. I'm sorry, fam. Like that for me, that's a fireable offense. You telling me I beat the home team the first two games with a chance to come home and sweep these cats, or at least go up 3-1, and I don't even do that, and then I go back to the crib for game 6 up 3-2 and blow the whole series. I I don't know, man. Like we seriously, it might just be seriously time for Mark Cuban to just maybe find another coach here, and they could blame Porzingis all they want, and rightfully so. But I think they gotta change the coach, man. Like you can't go up 2-0 as the road team and then not be able to close a deal twice. They had two opportunities to do it.
I disagree with you.
Of course you do.
I
Let's
mean,
go.
look, how many when an NFL team finds their franchise quarterback, how many years is that by the coach in your guesstimation? We have this conversation all the time.
I know. 3
This
years.
is
I would
Luca's.
say 3 years.
This is
Yeah.
this is Luca's second year in the playoffs.
Yep.
He's been dominant,
Yep.
and specifically, and let's be clear, I picked the Clippers to win this series, even though I tried to back off it after seeing the first two games.
I would have too.
But the reason why I thought they would win the series is it happened. Game 5, Kawhi went the fuck crazy. Game 7, Kawhi went crazy.
Game 6,
and
yeah.
Game 6, I'm sorry, he went crazy. They had the in the grand scheme of things, and it's why I was giving Kawhi smoke last week. Is dog. I know Paul George been getting a lot of the jokes and getting a lot of the smoke, but it should be Kawhi Leonard getting the smoke. It should be Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard is Batman on that team. And if we're being honest, Doncic don't got a Robin.
No, no question about that.
So
that's clear.
So he don't got a Robin. So he's sitting out there playing for his life. Like he's trying to do anything he can to, get them out the series. But the truth is that if Kawhi decide, I ain't playing no more. I ain't playing no more. PG's gonna follow, and then the team is gonna follow, and that's just too much. That's just too much roster wise that then Dallas can handle. It's why we were so shocked that Dallas took him that far last year. Right. Hell, the same thing this year, and still, it's the reason why we regard, or most people regard, Luka Doncic, why we put him so highly, because dog, you ain't supposed to have a shot against these Clippers. You ain't got nobody with you. And here he is consistently making this an interesting series when it really should be the Clippers in 6, the Clippers in 5. Even.
Sure.
They should be dogging this team.
I guess for me, like if this was the Clippers being up 2-0 and like every team had won, on their own floor, okay, the Clippers, y'all proved that y'all the team. And yeah, they proved that they're the team in this situation. But it was 6 straight series where the road team won. Like this was just one of those weird series. All their home games in this series.
Yeah, that's like I'm not calling for call-out job.
That's just unheard of. That's just unheard of, man.
I'm not calling for Carlo job in a situation like this against a team that he's overmatched against, and it's going as crazy as that. I mean, if you want to hold anybody accountable, and I know we won't do it because this is Ty Lue's first year, but I mean, these Bamas was losing at home just like the Clippers was. I mean, the Mavericks was losing at home. Yeah. So it's not like if you're gonna hold if you're gonna hold him accountable, you got to hold the other coach on the other side accountable, because They were losing at home
No question.
too.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying fire Ty Lue in his first season.
Right.
I'm just saying,
You're right. But the difference is Ty Lue got out of it, and I mean, and that's the difference, obviously.
But I'm just saying.
Ty Lue
You
was
start
able to
this.
get the game that mattered.
Sure, but you started a conversation with Rick Carlisle should be fired. I'm saying I disagree with you for that
Yeah.
purpose. He shouldn't be fired. He just got a superstar, and all intents and purposes, injury is what you could peg. And I'm not putting these injuries to Porzingis or to
Right,
Luka in
because
this year.
let's say he was healthy in Game 3. Maybe this series ends up
maybe this is different. I'm not putting that on Carlisle.
Sure.
What I'm putting this on as far as the Dallas Mavericks is that okay, 2 years in a row we know we got a star. We got a franchise player. We have a all-time great on our roster. So now we gotta up the roster. We gotta get shooters. We gotta get better shooters. We gotta get another slasher.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway is a slasher, but he's like he slash when he wants to. He's like he's not like he don't like always want to slash to the rack. Like Luka just need help. That's what Luka needs, help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Jalen Brunson is a good player, but he needs help. And so I wouldn't put that on Rick Carlisle. The Clippers did what they were supposed to do. They just took them longer to get there. And that, in my mind, is a bigger indictment. The Clippers winning in 7, in my mind, is a bigger indictment than the Mavs losing in 7.
Right. And the Clippers winning in 7 in the way that it happened, losing 3 home games just to get to the Game 7 at home to finally clinch it. Like that was just that was just one of the more unusual
I don't think that
things I've ever seen in the NBA like that.
And as the more experienced team with the roster that Kawhi, was like, you got to give me PG and all the additions that they added. He kind of mini LeBron the situation on getting players that he wanted on his team. And he chilled until Game 6. I ain't gonna say, obviously he had some good games between 1 and 5, but like he woke up in Game 6, he woke up in Game 7 when it was all on the line, and maybe that's how he wanted to do it.
He woke up in Game 3. I mean, him and Paul George, they woke up in Game 3, and you could put some of that on Luka's health, but they was down 30 to 13 in the first quarter in Game 3. And then they, them dudes had to wake up and, they eventually got that dub, in Dallas. I think, what you said, I mean, you make some good, I'll say this in regards to a coach having a superstar, the first 2 years. Rick Carlisle, he had Dirk already. Let somebody else get Luka. Maybe that's where I'm at with it. And I'm kind of speaking on an emotional level right now when it comes to this topic. Maybe Luka just make somebody else. Let somebody else coach Luka. Carlisle, he had a chance to coach a Hall of Famer. Let somebody else get the opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think he should be fired. How you feel about Kristaps Porzingis' comments?
What were his comments?
Essentially, he's saying he don't feel like he's robbing. He feel like he's an afterthought. He's taking a back seat to Luka.
The dude is playing like he's an afterthought. Let me tell you, I watched this highlight where they was on a fast break, and the dude shot a 3. I'm like, really? That's what you did on a fast break? Like, nah.
7 feet tall.
Nah, that's not. Yeah. I'm like, yo, you got to take that into the hole, man. Like, you just stopped. Like he took 2 steps and then was like, oh, I'm a, just shoot the 3. It's like, come on, dude. You 7 foot, man. You got to take that to the hole, man. Nah, he playing like it don't matter. Oh, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that from Porzingis. And I'll be honest with you, as a Knicks fan. And I know it's in retrospect, but I'm kind of glad he's not on the team anymore.
Yeah, that's in retrospect because I don't feel like he was feeling that way when it was happening. I don't remember, but I don't feel like he was feeling that way.
It's in retrospect, bro. It's all in retrospect.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out. It definitely worked out for you. Definitely did work out for you.
Your thoughts about his comments? Same, kind of feel the same way.
I mean,
Like you
same
can't.
sandwich. I
Yeah.
mean, you play like you. Look, man, and if it's injuries, then cool. But shut up. You should probably get traded, bruh. You should probably ask for a trade. That's what I say. You should probably ask for a trade.
Yeah,
Go to a team that don't got a star like that and see if you can match his star.
Right.
Or come close.
Yeah, he trying to be a number one. Like, yeah.
Which is ridiculous because you're not a number one.
Right. Yeah, go to Sacramento and be their number one.
Yeah, exactly. Now he wouldn't be the number one there. Because my money, my De'Aaron Fox is number one over there in my book.
And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if De'Aaron Fox is trying to get up out of there either. So, like, what about that kind of a trade? De'Aaron Fox in Dallas matched up with Luka. That looks promising.
But Luka runs the point of that though. So
Sure.
I don't really,
Sure.
Yeah,
De'Aaron Fox can play off the ball though.
I don't know because I don't see him. I mean, I don't see him do it. But
Of what I've seen him do, he can play a little bit off the ball.
Yeah, but that's not his natural thing though.
Understood.
Yeah.
What about Terry Stotts here? Terry Stotts gets fired, and I want to emphasize he got fired.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this. The team parted ways and all that.
I tell you what, I don't care. Look. I wish Jason Kidd wanted to coach. I wish he wanted to coach for the Blazers, but I wouldn't be mad at Chauncey Billups. See what he could do. My thing is, but if I cared about his coaching well-being, meaning him being a coach, because I think he'll get a job somewhere else if it, I don't think he's out the league or nothing crazy. He's coming off a playoff.
He was
victory.
consistent.
Yeah, he was a pretty good coach. So I think even if he don't get a head coaching job next year, he'll be somewhere on somebody's bench until it's time for him to get another coaching job. So I'm sure he'll be fine. Right. If I cared, though, maybe a little too early. And the only reason I say a little too early is because I feel like they just got a good front court just this year with I forget the cat.
Nurkic.
That's not who I'm talking about. Who was the guy? Who was the cat? They boasted for years. The problem is that they had a strong backcourt and the front court didn't suffice.
Right.
And this year it looks like they had
Covington. They got Covington.
There we go. They felt like they had a better. I felt like they had a better front court this year. And even though where they ended up in the playoffs didn't really register for that. But then they lost in the first round.
Yeah. Because I picked the Blazers in 6. Because I just thought
6, I believe.
Because I thought the absence of Jamal Murray was going to do the Nuggets in, and I got to give credit to Jokic because what was that Game 7 where what was it? What was that? Was that the double overtime game, or was it Game 6 the double?
I thought that was 6.
Game?
That was double overtime.
Game 6, yeah, where Nurkic fouled out and Jokic just basically just went crazy after that. It was like, okay, you can't guard me. I'm gonna get mines. I was surprised at that. And speaking of surprises, Terry Stotts getting let go. That did kind of come out of nowhere for me. I wasn't expecting that. And then even with all the talks about Dame Lillard, possibly wanting out of Portland. I know Stephen A. alluded to a few teams, including the Knicks, Clippers, Miami, and I'm blanking on the other team. It might have been the Lakers or somebody, but there were teams that were calling about Damian Lillard.
Yeah. Hell yeah, because you put that little Instagram post up with the Nipsey quote.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, right? As a Knicks fan, if Damian Lillard wants to come to the Garden, you do whatever the hell you got to do to get his ass here. RJ Barrett, bye bye. You know, IQ, bye bye. Obi, bye bye. If it means any of those three got to go, bye bye.
Yep. I ain't gonna lie. The only player, two players, but one player really in my mind that I feel like I have to have is Derrick Rose, and then second Julius Randle. But everybody else, whatever you want, you can have whatever you like.
Yeah, you could definitely have whatever you like, and those other guys like Bullock and Burks, like them guys are on 1-year deals. Like I don't even expect them. I don't even expect them to come back next year, regardless of if we
what do you
get
even
a trade or
expect your
not.
team to look like? Your team is gonna look different next year.
Way different. It's definitely gonna look way different. But like I was saying maybe a couple of weeks ago, if we don't end up trading for anybody that's like a Damian Lillard or Karl Anthony Towns or somebody like that, they at the very least have to sign some shooters in the offseason. And the one cat that I kept referencing was Duncan Robinson because I know he's a free agent. Like,
don't worry, you're not getting him.
Don't worry,
you're not getting him.
Why's that?
Because he's about to get a payday in Miami. He's happy in Miami. I know you keep saying something about him. They not being happy about what he do off the court. Like
no, that's not Duncan Robinson. That's Tyler Hero.
That's Tyler Hero. Okay. Oh yeah, you definitely not getting Duncan Robinson then.
Well, look, I can dream, right?
Yeah, you can. That's a fact. I would never stop you from dreaming, bro, because I be on this bitch dreaming all the time.
I'm about to say,
I'm waiting for the Steelers to draft the sign freaking Malik Hero so I could talk about my defense being alright this year, and it ain't happened yet.
And I'm sure you're waiting on the Wizards, whatever moves they got to make.
I'm just waiting for them to get some shooters. That's all. I'm hoping that Rui and I never forget the rookie's name. The rookie from Israel. They gotta get their jumpers together, or they can go. But nobody wants to shoot threes. And your
man's got to get healthy. What's your man, Thomas Bryant?
Yeah. But the problem was still shooting. The problem was 3-point shooting. That was the problem.
Of course.
That was the problem. Nobody want to shoot threes. There's so much on the 3-point line, catching the ball and pump faking and trying to get back to the rack. Like, shoot the damn three. And then nobody wants to shoot a three because they was one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. And we need to get shooting.
What was
and then that's even assumed. Nobody wanted to shoot them. I don't know the percentage, but nobody wanted to shoot him. And that's literally just me watching the series. Nobody wanted to shoot it. I mean, it wasn't good, man. We need to get our 3-point shooting together, bro. And this is still under the assumption that Russell Westbrook is going to stay because I've been hearing rumors about Russell Westbrook possibly leaving, and obviously the Bradley Beal conversation is rampant because the Wizards are some trash. But I
saw that. I saw something alluding to Westbrook being dealt, and I forget the team that. Lakers. That's the team that I saw. Yeah. But they've been kind of tooting that horn for like 4 years.
That's why I'm not really putting much. Yeah, I'm not really putting much stock in it. But I saw it where Kuzma and KCP and somebody else they was going they was talking about sending a lot of players, but that wouldn't have made the Wizards no better. So in my mind, if you get rid of Russell Westbrook, you might as well get rid of Bill. Don't stop wasting my man's time.
So speaking of the Lakers, so they're out. No LeBron in the playoffs, and I would say this was a disappointing season for the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure.
Disappointing season the way it ended.
I mean, I get it, and we get it. Anthony Davis was injured, and that's a lot of it. I can't put this on for those who want to try and put this on LeBron. LeBron's 38 years old and still, but come on, man, come on. Let's stop being ridiculous. Stop putting so much pressure on a 38-year-old whose legacy is already cemented. Let's stop playing that game.
Yeah, I'm just curious about what their moves are going to be like. To get better now, because they can't rely on Anthony Davis with the health situation, and then LeBron,
I totally disagree with that.
In terms of what?
Yeah, you got to depend on Anthony Davis. He got injured. I get it, but
Mm.
Anthony Davis is still Anthony Davis. He got injured. He got injured this year. I
Yeah,
mean, I mean,
he's got
let's
a
not forget
history of
they.
injuries too.
Sure, but they just won a championship last year.
Sure, sure,
So I mean, that's not.
sure.
He was a very big part of them winning that championship last year. I
Got the
mean, we
yeah,
can't just sit
got the bubble chip, and I don't want to
here. Yeah,
throw
we
shade.
can't.
I don't want to throw shade.
Well, it
They got
seems like that's exactly what you're doing because that's
they
still a
got the
chip to me.
they got the bubble chip. So,
Is that any less of a chip?
but I'll give them this credit in this regard. They played all the way to the end. They got barely 2 months of off season time. They had to go right back into the grind of things in the season, and um, I think it showed. I think the lack of healthy bodies for the Lakers, I think it showed because they had to get back out and start the season 2 months after winning the chip. So
Hold on,
I
was
mean,
that bubble chip shade?
was it shade?
Yes.
It was a little bit of shade. But they would have won it. I'm sure they would have. They would have won it if they were healthy this year, or at least they would have got back to the finals this year under
Mm-hmm.
normal circumstances. I believe they would have.
Okay. I don't why you giving them shade for winning the chip, man, in the bubble.
Look, man, I told you after they won the chip, I was jealous. Like the Lakers win
No.
everything, man. Like it just
All
seemed like
right. Okay. I just wanted to
in
make
my
sure it wasn't.
lifetime, I've watched the Lakers win 6 championships, something like that, 6 or 7 of
Mm-hmm.
them things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Like I'm jealous, man. They get all
All
the
right.
stars, man. When it come to free agency, they get all the stars, B.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, y'all had Melo. Don't ever forget y'all had Melo.
We did. That didn't turn out so great in the end,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Do we blame him for that?
I think New York. I think some New Yorkers do blame him for it. Me personally, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know what happened, man, and I'll never forget. We just got beat by Indiana in 6 games in the second round that year, 2013. And that off season, um, Dolan fired the GM after the draft,
Mm-hmm.
and right before the season, he just fires the GM. And I'm like, what the hell kind of move was that? You know, aside from because we had Jason Kidd on the roster, we had Rasheed
Yeah.
Wallace on the roster, we had Kenyon Martin on the roster, so that was
Mm-hmm.
like, veterans that were leading by example, the prior year, and all those guys left, combined with the fact that Dolan let go of the GM, and the season turned out so terrible that they was like, oh, we got to bring Phil in. Like, Phil's got to fix this. And Phil made it so much worse than that. So if there was anybody to blame, Dolan is at the top of the list for certain. And Phil Jackson. I got to put Phil Jackson in that realm of why the Knicks were what they were, how bad they were, over the last few years. The
So
draft picks.
you don't put no stock into the whole Carmelo wanting more money, and that money wasn't didn't allow them to bring in players that next year.
I don't buy that. I don't buy
Okay,
that. Mello.
I just remember that being the conversation when it happened. That's why.
Yeah, I remember the conversation too, but for me, it was he's mellow. He wanted to be here. Get a man the money.
Mm-hmm.
Get a man his money. Y'all
Right,
GMs, y'all executive vice
y'all got to figure
presidents
that
and
out.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we say the
Mm-hmm.
same thing in the NFL. Y'all got GMs, y'all got presidents of operations. Y'all figure it out. Y'all get paid the big bucks to do this stuff. So that was sort of my attitude there. Um, so just kind of getting back to the Portland situation, I would like to see somebody like a Sam Cassell, interview for that job, as well as Chauncey Billups, and a few other guys that they're been talking about out there. And the whole Jason Kidd thing, I kind of feel like he wants the LA job. I think they're just waiting
Mm-hmm.
for Frank Vogel to
Waiting
kind
for
of.
Franco. Yep.
Yep, I think that's what's going down over there.
I thought the same thing.
hmm Yeah, so So I got this game on right now. Hawks and Sixers game 2. Philly is up. They were up big early on, but it's now 33-20. Still kind of
Yeah,
early.
yeah, but yeah, it being early, one and
Mm.
two. The Hawks already did what they needed to do in
Yeah.
this series.
Yep.
So I mean,
They took one. Yeah.
yeah, they already did what they needed to do. So it's hard for me to really put a lot of stock into that. Especially this early in the game. But shout out to the Hawks, man, because the Hawks might low key. I picked the Hawks to win the series, man.
I saw that.
I
And
picked the Hawks to win the series, man.
you're
And
not
you know
alone. You're
what?
not alone. Now,
Look,
I still got the Sixers, but yeah, there's a lot. It's split. I mean, people
yeah,
like the Hawks in this series, and a lot of people still like the Sixers in this series, despite Joel Embiid's meniscus.
yeah, and man, that boy Trey Young, man, like
Yeah,
he came here to play. He
he
came here to
came up to
play, and he
yeah.
and the little rowdy white boys behind him, little white shooters behind them,
Yeah.
Gallinari and Hunter
Bogdanovich and
and
Herter.
D-Buck, yeah, them little white boys, they just walking around with a little too much energy, too much positive, confident energy on them right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Capella's holding his own. Like you're not gonna stop
Yep.
Embiid, but he's holding his
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
yeah, man. I kind of like the Hawks in 7, man.
Yeah. That's a big possibility. I'm gonna stick to
And it
Sixers and
always
7.
comes, because it always comes down to, I don't believe Ben Simmons, man. I don't
Yeah,
believe him.
and I don't remember if we talked about it last week, but the whole hack of Simmons in the series with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's gonna be a problem if the Hawks have to go to that and Simmons has to, try to shoot free throws,
That
to
man was like
stay up.
13 to 28 in that last series, in the Wizards series.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, something crazy like that. Yeah, man. It's the same story, right? Like we talk about this almost every year since he's been in the league. Like the dude
Yeah.
he can take it to the rack, he can defend you, he can finish at the rim, but he won't shoot a jump shot to save his life. He won't shoot a 3-pointer, and he's bad at free throws. I don't know that you can win with that. And
Yep. Not in the,
if you do, he's got to be like the third or fourth best player on the team.
well, scoring wise, obviously what
Yeah.
he does athletically, what he does
Mm-hmm.
defensively. If he gets if he gets a running start, not many that could stop him. All those things. But
Yeah.
it's always my thing, man. When it gets tight, who gonna get what wingman guard gonna get you buckets? And Embiid's been doing pretty good, at least in the Wizards series.
Yeah.
He's been doing a pretty good job in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Scoring, getting those kind of shots that you need.
Yep.
But I don't believe that going
Mm-hmm.
forward. I think the Wizards are a terrible defensive team. They had no answers for Embiid. That nobody at the center position could really hang with him. I feel like this, like you said earlier. I feel like, well, you didn't say it, but Thomas Bryant being injured, I think
That series would
he
have been
does a
different
better
if
job.
Thomas Bryant was
I
there.
think he does a little differently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With me seeing him shooting, nobody wanting to shoot the ball kind of changes how I felt about it going in.
Yeah.
But Thomas Bryant definitely, I think, would have made that series a little more interesting. But getting back to the Hawks and the Sixers series,
Yeah.
they got that boy. The Hawks got that boy.
Oh, they got
They got
one.
that
one.
boy, and it's funny because watching game one,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like a score off between him and Joel Embiid. It was kind of a little mini score off where he'll come down, Trey Young come down, do his thing, and then Embiid will come do his thing in the paint, and they was getting buckets, but just after a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's only so long fake thugs can pretend, man.
So I didn't watch that game. I was actually on the road back home.
Mm-hmm.
and I turned Sirius XM on to listen to the game, and I saw the score. It was like a 20-point deficit. The Hawks were up by 20 or something like
Yeah,
that.
they was up
like
big. Yeah,
like second quarter, third quarter, something like that. And
mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself, like, okay, Embiid must be out of this game because I hadn't heard anything prior to the start of the game about his, availability and his health and all that. I just knew that he had the torn meniscus, and guy to play on that. I've heard from many people that that's a tough thing to play on. So I was surprised to hear that he played in this game and he dropped 39 points.
39 had a hell of a game actually.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, like they had Joel Embiid dropping 39 in a game at home and they lose this game, like word. So
and shooters. They got shooters.
They got one, man.
They got shooters.
Got one. And
they got shooters. And Philly played Philly, you would think Joel Embiid scoring 39, that's the kind of game that you wanted them to play. You wanted the Sixers to have that kind of game. That's their recipe for winning, you would think.
Right.
And nah.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Now it ended up being a 4-point win, right? Because I did look at that box score, and the Hawks was down the stretch, like the Sixers was trying to.
The Sixers turned up. The Sixers turned up.
Yeah, right. So, I'm gonna stick with the Sixers in 7. I think in the end, and Ben Simmons, he can't shoot, for hell, but defensively, I think they're gonna have something for Trey Young, and Trey Young is a great player, but I think there's gonna be moments in this series where I think defensively the Sixers are gonna, turn up and just take him away, because I mean you mentioned Trey Young, and then you mentioned the shooters, and those shooters they're really good shooters, but Trey Young facilitates all that. You know what I'm saying? So if you could take Trey Young out the game, or at least, minimize him, and at least not, make him more of a playmaker per se, like in terms of getting other people involved. If you can minimize that part, then the Sixers definitely have a chance. Like if Trey Young drops his 30, okay, go get your 30. But Gallinari, you're not going to get 15 points. Bogdanovich, you're not going to get 17. Herter, you're not going to get 16 points. Like if you can keep those guys around the perimeter to a minimum, then the Sixers got a chance. And I'm going to stick with that. So Milwaukee, this is yo, I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna hold you. This might be a sweep, bro. I had the Nets in 7, but I might change my pick to Nets in 3, bro. Because
in 3, goddamn.
Nets in 3, bro. Like, and I watched a little bit of Game 1, and the fact that you got a size advantage, right? Like Milwaukee's got all these trees in their front court, and they're not taking it to the rack. Like you just, you shooting threes.
I mean, Giannis. Who I don't know. How tall is Middleton? I don't.
He's like 6'6". He's like 6'6", something like that.
But look, he's tall, but
what's their strength? What is their strength? Hey, score in the paint. That's all I asked Milwaukee to do was score in the paint, and they want to jack threes up.
Who was jacking them though?
Brook Lopez, Middleton. I think Middleton had a terrible game. And quite frankly, Middleton has had a terrible series up to this point. Drew Holiday has had a terrible series up to this point. So 2 of your 3 best players aren't playing the way they're supposed to be playing. That's a big problem, number one.
And then here it is, falling right back on the Golden Child.
Yep. Yeah, bro. If you can't shoot from the outside consistently, and you can't shoot free throws, yeah, he ain't the dude, man. You can't shoot free throws, bro. And you got the crowd chanting the countdown, which I think is, dumb, but you
I
got the
think it's
crowd doing
hilarious,
that.
and I think it's working.
It's crazy because you would expect, and I'm kind of thinking backwards a bit. I'm like, wait, you want him to not shoot it in 10 seconds? You want him to get the violation? Why are you
Nah,
counting?
I don't think that they want him to get the violation. It doesn't happen that often. I think they want to get in his head. I think they want him to rush his shot.
Yeah.
And miss it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the purpose of the chant. And for all intents and purposes, yeah, it seemed like it was working.
He's been bad at the free throws before, all the chants and stuff.
Yeah, but it hurts more in the playoffs.
And it's not
hurts more in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
seems like they may have just gotten up for Miami, and then if they exercise the Miami demons, maybe they they went fishing maybe.
I don't know, bro, but they was down by 49 points last night. Like come on. Like, y'all supposed
and
to
James
be...
Harden, did James Harden? I don't think James Harden played.
No.
Did he play?
No. My man's in street clothes, man.
Hey, bro.
My man just came from around the corner from Not Ray's Pizza, man. Like, he just had a slice of pizza and just... Nah, man.
Man, y'all keep trying to tell me about this Nets. I'm sorry, bro. They winning the chip. They're winning the chip.
Oh, listen.
Blake Griffin looked like Blake Griffin from the Clippers. Like.
Look. Brooklyn needs to just plan it right now. Spend the money. Get the barricades. Block off Atlantic Avenue and Flatbush, and just get the streamers. Get the floats. Get the parade. Get everything prepped for the parade because it's happening.
I don't believe nobody else. Yeah, I don't believe nobody else. But I would love to see a Suns Brooklyn finals, though.
That would be a great finals to watch.
I think that would be a good finals.
And I would like to see the Clippers there too. Like Clippers Nets, I think that would be a good finals also. Like that one to me has a chance to go the distance, 7 games. I'm not so sure about the Suns.
I agree with you there too. Probably maybe even more. I just like the Suns better because I like the Suns. But given the on paper talent with Paul George, Kawhi, I take that back. Yeah, that would probably be the better Clippers.
And they can shoot threes. They can shoot threes in LA. So that I mean, to me, if you're talking about the team that gives them the best chance to knock off Brooklyn, I think the team that's left in this tournament is the Clippers. I think they're built to do that.
I don't think they're doing that shit.
No, I don't think they're doing it, but I think they're the best.
I hear you.
Like I don't think Utah has a chance, and quite frankly, I don't even think Utah is going to get out of the series with the Clippers. I just found out about Mike Conley and the hamstring, and I'm like, wait, when did that happen? Like, I don't even remember that, being a situation, but you don't have Mike Conley in there, and I get Donovan Mitchell's your star, but Mike Conley has beasted in these playoffs so far. You need that dude if you're going to go far. So
yeah, but they're not going far.
Yeah, no. So you got Clippers in what? Because I got Clippers in
6.
7. Okay,
yeah,
6.
6.
Okay, okay. I got it going a distance 7 here. So what about Suns and Nuggets? I watched that game last night too.
Suns in 6.
Suns in 6. Man, because it seems like all these matchups are good matchups that, you think they're going to go the distance, but, you get the feeling that one of these series is just going to go 4 or 5. Like what we talked about Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Like that one might just be a sweep if Milwaukee doesn't show a pulse in game 3. But Suns Nuggets, man, I got the Suns in this series. I think they're going to get the Nuggets out in 6 too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like it to go the distance, but I just think that, the Suns with the crowd and the bench, I mean, that team is so deep with Cameron Payne and I forgot that they traded for Torrey Craig from the
Yeah.
Nuggets earlier, in the middle of the season. So
Yeah.
they're just so deep everywhere. Give me Phoenix, man. Give me Phoenix for
Yep.
the conference finals. So Phoenix and LA in the conference finals in the West for me. And I think we differ on the Hawks and the Sixers.
Yep.
So that's what's up. Did you watch the fight over the weekend?
Are you talking about Mayweather and Logan Paul? I
Yes.
did.
Yes.
I did watch it.
Okay.
And I don't know. I haven't had a chance to watch, media and hear what people were thinking about that fight. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm disappointed in Floyd Mayweather. I'm
And why's that?
disappointed. He should have knocked his ass out. He should have knocked his ass out. And for those who's about to be like, oh, he's rich and, all that, he never had knockout power, all those things, I get it. But Slim is
But he's
not a
fighting
boxer
Logan
yet.
Paul. That's the
He's
thing.
not a boxer yet.
Right. That's the
He's
thing.
not a boxer
He's
yet. And he was so outclassed. But he was so outclassed. Like, Logan Paul was clearly outclassed. And I know that they don't name winners because it's an exhibition, but I mean,
Yeah.
we know who won. We know who won. I would. So I mean, I feel like he should have knocked him out. I feel like he knocked him out once, and then he held him up and held him up from falling one time in the fight. But yeah, you got to knock that dude out because here's the thing. Floyd Mayweather had the opportunity of giving this ass whooping to Logan Paul and making Logan Paul realize, you know what, this is a retired fighter, and I got my ass whooped. Maybe I'm not built for this boxing shit, but now he's coming out, and you heard it in the press conference and after the fight, he's talking about, I stood toe to toe with the greatest of all time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And his brothers tweeted the same thing or put it on Instagram, whatever he posted it at, did the same thing. Like, yeah, my man's went the distance with the GOAT. So ain't nothing nobody could tell Logan Paul now because he went 8 rounds with the GOAT and survived. So now he thinking he could take on anybody. So I mean, look, I guess in a with me trying, with me chasing dreams and and all these things, who am I to hate on a man that's trying to chase their dreams? But if he's going to be a boxer, Logan Paul, and I mean Jake Paul's looked a little bit better, but he didn't fight Floyd Mayweather either. They got work to do. They got work to do if they seriously want to be boxers. They got a lot of work to do. I do, on the other hand, want to point out that Jared Hurd from Akakeek fought in the undercard, and he lost, but it was good.
How'd he look though?
He didn't really look like he was like he don't. He's so used to being stronger than everybody. He lost that fight. And I forget who he fought, but he lost that fight because the other dude was more active. And he thought that he thought that he was going to drop Slim, and Slim didn't drop some Spanish cat. He didn't drop him, and by the time it was over, he had all the action. He had 1 round because he had all the action. So it was that kind of thing. But it was good to see Jared Hurd back in the ring because I hadn't seen him in a while. So shout out to Jared Hurd, even though you lost. Your boy Chad Ochocinco fought in the first undercard.
Yes, yep.
And
I heard he looked okay.
No, he didn't look okay.
He didn't look okay. No, not even okay. Damn.
I mean, if we're talking about boxing expertise, at boxing level, he didn't look okay. I mean, it was an amateur fight. And he looked like an amateur. Now I will say I didn't see the entire fight because I was coming from eating with Melvin. Shout out, happy birthday to Melvin and Sharif, to the homies.
Happy birthday, homies.
Yeah, so I went to go sit with them for a minute, and then I went over to go watch the fight. But yeah, so I didn't see 1 through 8 or however many rounds it was, but I saw enough. It was like, oh yeah, this guy, you know. I mean, but I'm glad he got it off his bucket list, man.
He got knocked out though, right? He got knocked out.
He got dropped. He
Yeah.
He definitely got dropped.
Stick your ass to football, nigga.
Yeah. But shout out to him, man. Like, I mean, if Logan Paul, a YouTuber, can do it, then Chad Johnson can do it. So if I'm not going, you know, hey man, y'all people get money.
Dreams.
Chasing dreams, chasing checks, man. Get your money. If you can get paid for dreaming, you know, living out your dreams, man. What the fuck? Who am I?
There you go. Hey, you getting paper, and I'm just sitting here
man,
talking about you getting paper.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we got to up our game, man. Got to step it up. Hey, one more thing before we kind of close out here. I forgot one thing in regards to the basketball. So, Danny Ainge stepped down as GM and vice president operations for the Boston Celtics and all that. And Brad Stevens is now moving from the head coaching position, moving up in the front office. And so the Celtics are in a search for a head coach for the team. And yeah, I saw Stephen A go off about it last week. My man said, "Yo, I'll be right back because I might say something." That my nigga walked off the set like, like he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna say something."
Side note.
What's up?
Side note. Can we all come to the table and agree that they don't have to keep staging these walk-offs? Like, y'all are so upset that that y'all got to walk off the set. Can we stop doing that?
Yeah, they could definitely do that. And I tell you another thing too, man. So
I rather you cuss on TV. Just cuss on TV and pay the fine. Like, stop this.
Pay the fine.
Stop this.
The theatrics. It's all theater,
man.
But I was watching.
I'm sick of this.
That same. Yeah, there you go. Walk off the set. Put the theatrics into it.
Yeah, man.
So I'm watching that same episode, and it's so crazy how and I guess it kind of goes back to what Jay Williams said this morning about KD and Giannis, and there were people on Twitter I saw coming out and saying, "Yo, like Durant was like he never said that to Jay Williams, right?" Mm-hmm. So watching that First Take episode that day where Stephen A left the room, they had Perkins on there talking about the change in the Celtics front office, and he was like, "Yeah, I was shocked. Like I wasn't expecting this to happen." And da da da. So then, First Take went off. The 12 o'clock Sports Center came on, and I don't know why I still had it on because I usually, if I got time, then I'll just cut off ESPN and go somewhere else. But I just still so happen to have it on, and they got right into the Boston Celtics story, and Perkins came back on to talk about it, and this nigga says, "Yeah, man, I wasn't surprised at all. I seen it coming. I was talking to so and so." So I'm like, nigga, you just said on the previous show that you were surprised and that you didn't see it coming.
Everybody lying. Everybody on ESPN lying, huh?
Niggas is lying, yo. Like, yo, for real. Like, first this and now Jay Williams lying about what KD said to him about Giannis. It's like.
But what do you think? What do you think about that, though? Do you really? Let's be clear. Let's be very. I don't know Jay Williams. I don't know him. I don't know. Why would he go? Is he really lying? Why would he go on TV and make up that erroneous story if there was no merit to it? Did you think Kevin Durant wouldn't hear about it? Did Kevin Durant probably one of the more probably the most clapback NBA player?
Ain't no probably, nigga. That nigga.
He quick with it. Yeah.
He told Michael Rappaport meet him on West 4th. Like
Yeah,
that's how much he,
I can't.
got time for this.
Why would he be lying? I don't know if he's lying. I don't know if he's not. I don't know if Katie. I don't know who's saying what, would do what, where, and the how.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
goddamn, why would you come? But like, it's hard for me to believe. Well, I guess you just said it. Kendrick Perkins live
Yeah,
30 minutes apart from each other.
yeah. So for me, it's like it wouldn't surprise me if Jay Williams just made up a story, and hell, he might not have even met KD whatever night he was referring to. You know what I'm saying? He might have just pulled that
Damn.
out of nowhere.
KD said he clout chasing. He can't speak for him no more. He said like. I'm like, damn, Jay Williams. What, like,
So did
bruh.
KD because I didn't see
He responded.
what KD
KD
said.
responded.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on. Now you're gonna make me find the tweet. Hold on.
Because I saw people saying that KD clarified that he never told Jay Williams this.
He actually put out a tweet. Fuck, now I gotta find it. Something fucking told me to fucking screenshot it.
Kevin Durant got time for this. In case y'all niggas ain't know.
All right, hold on. Let me search Jay Williams. Let me find.
I was gonna say I was
Williams,
about to put on I'm about to search Kevin Durant and see, but
because Jay Williams was trending. He was literally trending before I fucking came on to the show.
So I got the tweet right here, right? So
thank you.
This is from Durant. He says, "Mans will do anything to advance their careers in this media shit. Wanting to be accepted by an industry that will dispose of you whenever they please. Keep me out of all that corny ass talk about who's better and legacy and all that dumb ass shit. I don't even talk like that." So yeah.
But it's crazy because I be believing Kevin Durant, Joe. I be believing Kevin Durant.
I believe the athletes, bruh. I believe Kevin Durant.
But why would Jay Williams used to be an athlete? Why would he lie about something like that? That's why would he lie about that?
For clicks and for just to say something.
He got what he wanted.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Smoke too.
He got what he wanted. He got some attention.
Now
I just can't. I don't get it.
I noticed that Jay Williams hadn't responded.
I'm gonna start lying, Joe. He probably gonna respond tomorrow. I'm gonna start lying on here.
On what? On our platform?
Yeah, I'm gonna start lying.
Oh, okay.
For clicks.
Okay, yeah. Just say, hey, I talked to John Wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start lying, Joe. Like, yo.
I just talked to John Wall. He talking about he want to play for the Knicks or something crazy.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm gonna say something. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it, and I'm gonna just tell a real good ass lie. Like, yeah, I was down at Park the other night and seen Bradley Beal, and
which, by the way, is a rumor. By the way, John Wall to the Knicks. John Wall to the Knicks. That's been a reported rumor.
That would be great for y'all.
Twitter.
That would be great for y'all. That would be great for y'all.
I'm torn a little bit, right? Because
healthy John Wall, though, more.
Well, healthy John Wall, hell yeah, give him to me 100%. It's the injuries just, I don't know. The injury thing just kind of scares me a little bit.
He looked good in Houston for them couple of games he played. He looked good in Houston.
But he didn't finish the season, right?
Yeah, but see, no, he didn't. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bruh. Just my opinion. I don't know.
Terrible year.
No. Hold on. I'm supposed to lie.
You supposed to lie.
What I heard from John Wall's camp, because I talked to him when it was going on. He was tired of the Houston Rockets being trash.
Hey,
he was like, "Well, fuck it, we ain't going nowhere, so I'm about to just sit out for the rest of the year." But tell him I'm injured.
And my man told me he coming to play for my team, the Knicks. That's what Mama said. That's what
he said he 100. He said he 100% healthy. He just don't want to play. So he said is whatever the injury they reported. Mm-hmm. You heard it here first.
Let's go.
You heard it here first. He lied. He wasn't really injured. He wasn't injured.
We the TMZ right now.
Yeah, he wasn't injured. He not injured at all. He's chilling in Houston, bagging all the joints. Bagging all the joints out Houston. Yeah, he hanging out.
He hanging out with Bun B at the joint.
Yeah, I forget the name of that little shopping district in Houston. That's like where all the little joints be at. But yeah, he out there.
Yeah. I need to go to Houston one day. I need
I
to
do
go to
want to go
Houston
there.
one day. Yeah, we going to Pittsburgh in August.
Wow, what's in Pittsburgh?
It's just a road trip. But we hitting up like 3 other cities. Cleveland, Detroit, and Chicago. We
all right.
just hitting them up. Yeah.
Well, I haven't been to Pittsburgh in years, but I could tell you. I mean, if you looking, well, I know you ain't looking for no action, but it's a whole bunch of mountains and shit.
Yeah, I know. But they did do this Black Lives Matter mural right underneath the highway there, right across from the stadium. I'm gonna check
Oh
that
yeah,
mural out. Yeah. It's a dope one. It's got George Floyd on it. It's got Breonna Taylor on it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna walk over there and get some shots of that joint. No question. But yeah. I wanna hit up Houston though. We talking Houston. I definitely gotta find a way to hit
yeah.
up
But I
Houston.
want to hit Houston life though. I don't want to just go to Houston and go to the, the tourist sites. I want to hit Houston. You feel me?
Yeah.
I want,
Certainly.
I want to hit Houston.
Hit them joints. Yeah, the joint where they retired James Harden's number in the rafters at the strip club.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit Houston, bruh. I'm trying to go to Houston.
Go to that joint.
I'm trying to go to Houston. I ain't trying to just be out. Yeah, I'm trying to go to Houston.
Yeah, you might as well live there too, bro.
Nah. A lot of that conversation be coming up a lot about, living somewhere besides the DMV. And, I mean, I don't see it for me no time soon. Let me say that.
Right. Hey, man.
Like, I like living here. I like being able to go hear good go-go when I want to hear it live. You know what I'm saying? Like I like chicken wings and mumbo sauce. I mean, I get that I need to go see other places and experience other things, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we we set out to do with this trip here. Just go to certain spots, and I would never like those places I mentioned earlier: Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago. I would never go to those places in the fall or the winter. Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the best time to go when it's 90 degrees and it's sunny.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be hot as hell. I don't know. Yeah, be sure to know how the water and all that's going on in Detroit.
How to who? The water?
The water and all that.
Now I thought that
like
was
Flint. That's just Flint. I mean, yeah, but
okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that's not. I mean,
and I don't know how far that is from Detroit. So
okay,
I don't know how far
that was my
next
question. That was my next question.
That I don't know. What I do know about Detroit is, and I think I mentioned this on the pod a few weeks ago. I am going to go take a picture in front of Martin's apartment building, and people know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Martin, the TV show, the building that they show on the TV show. Yes, people, that is in Detroit, and it's walking distance from downtown. So definitely gonna check that joint out.
Word.
You got anything else, man? Because I'm about to sign off on this joint. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. We appreciate you. Shout out to everybody also that watches us on YouTube as well. Make sure y'all click the like button on the Facebook page. Also, click the subscribe button for the YouTube page as well. Continue to follow us on our social media. We got the, what do we got? The Instagram page at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We also got the Twitter handle at Barbershop SPOR2. And if you got any questions or comments about the show, you can hit us up at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So if you got nothing else, man, everybody out there, enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy these playoff games. And actually, we're going to take a week break, actually. I'm not to say we're going to be here next week, but we're actually not going to be here next week. So we'll see y'all in a couple weeks.
Happy belated birthday to Prince.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. And rest in peace, Clarence Williams, too.
Yeah.
Legend in the game. Legend in the game.
Yeah, man.
Legend
rest
in the
in
game.
peace to Clarence Williams.
Yes.
I just got, as soon as I heard he died, I went immediately to Low Down Dirty Shame, the episode when he went in there to go see Clarence Williams, and he had the white wife with the white kids, and they was
okay.
reading the essay.
I gotta watch that movie again, because it's not a movie that I watch, on a regular. But I remember him from Tales from the Hood, Low Down Dirty Shame, Half Baked. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, we lost a legend this week.
For sure.
Rest in peace, and happy birthday to Prince. Rest in peace too. No question. All right, y'all. That's it for the show. We out of here. Y'all have a good couple weeks. We'll be back to give you that sports talk. Peace.
Yeah.